Speaking of technology, let's see if this iPad works here. Good morning again, everybody.
Good morning.
I want to take a quick moment because I saw a couple of folks in uniform just to say thank you for your service and give you a round of applause, please.
All right.
And then as a parent, I want to give a shout out to the folks who are not necessarily in uniform, but we truly appreciate your service, whether you're a parent, loved one, guardian. A round of applause for you all.
All right.
Thank you again, Cortez. Thank you, Principal Kelly, Assistant Principal McFall, faculty, staff, most importantly, the graduates, of course, and your families. You know, I had a totally different speech prepared, very traditional. I was gonna stand up here and kind of audibly pat you on your back, tell you how great of a job you've done, hit you with a very profound quote, maybe try to inspire you and just tell you that the world is yours. Just believe in yourself.
Give it to them real.
But it's something about the gravity of this moment,
Yeah.
the things that we're seeing nationally and internationally, that would not let me gloss over reality. Locally, we're seeing children die daily.
Come on.
There's a total want for leadership in our city, our state, and our nation. And as I poured over what I was gonna say, it just felt unauthentic. And you're not my children, but you are in many regards. And so like I tell my daughter, I care far more about your future than I do your immediate feelings, so I will tell you the truth.
That's right. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. That's good.
The world is not inherently yours. It's not.
Tell it.
The real world that exists outside these four walls and outside of King College Prep. Not a big teddy bear waiting to welcome you with open arms and give you a big hug.
They really
It's
not.
not.
Tell the truth.
The world will swallow you whole, and the earth will continue to spin every 23 hours and 56 seconds. 23 hours and 56 minutes, excuse me. But the world can be yours.
Right.
It should be yours.
Right. That's right.
And I'm just naive enough to believe that it will be yours.
Amen.
Whether the world is yours or you merely belong to the world depends on one simple thing: your decision making.
That's it.
What do I know about this? You heard my bio. Sounds great. Skipped a grade, graduated high school at 16, graduated undergrad with a 3.8 GPA, with a major and 2 minors, attended the top law school, had a full tuition fellowship, graduated at 24, passed the bar on the first attempt, worked at a law firm, then in government, started a brewery, became a state rep. But if I fill in the gaps for you, my freshman year, I had a .95 GPA. Yeah, for my math which is less than a 1.0. I was ranked 438 out of 439 students in my class.
Wow.
So if nothing else, you should know, if I can do it,
You can too. That's right. That's
I
right.
attended 2 high schools and 3 colleges. That first law firm that he talked about, Cortez, it was hell. The firm that generated millions, it started with a $1,600 investment, probably too much confidence in myself, and a lot of prayer. The brewery he talked about, it went under. And through all of that, I've buried many friends. I visited family in prison more times than I care to count. I've had personal struggles, and I'm still here. And yes, I realize as you look at me that this day is about you, so why am I talking about myself? I just mentioned part of my story for 2 reasons. One, I want to establish some trust, so you all will listen to what I have to say. Otherwise, I could have just acted like it was all good and sat back down. The other reason is because I want you to understand that the only difference between the introduction that you heard of me and what I just shared is my decision making. I'm not intellectually the most gifted person, but I learned a long time ago that we are only as smart as the decisions that we make. That's why I stay on top. Far too many individuals with all the intelligence, all the talent that one could wish for, they never get to where they want to be, or they fall from grace because of their decision making. I'll give you a couple of examples. Some of you who pay attention to football may have heard of a guy named Henry Ruggs III. He immediately comes to mind. Star athlete, multimillionaire. His decision, I have to say allegedly because I'm a lawyer, allegedly to drive while under the influence resulted in the death of a woman. Ended his football career and likely his career. I think he's about 23, 24 years old.
Oh, wow.
After all the workouts, all the early practice sessions, all the time and effort that it took for him to become one of the only 1.2% of individuals who play college football to make it to the NFL. Gone.
Dang.
But it's not simply about athletes or famous people. I think of my cousins, brothers who grew up in the same household. One had to work for absolutely everything. He certainly was intelligent, but his work ethic and his decision making and focus led him to earn a PhD. His brother was my closest cousin in age, my best friend, quite honestly. Is undeniably the most intelligent person that I've ever met, and I've been in a lot of rooms. We talk daily, sends me messages, not one grammatical error. The letters behind his brother's name are PhD, D. The letters behind my name are JD, D. Both doctorates. His are RD. RD 34598.
In the prison.
Because the decision he made at 21 years old, it'll cost him up to 54 years of his life.
Oh my God.
We all have D's behind our name.
Oh my
And the
God.
only difference between those D's are our D decision making.
Wow. That's
But
good.
this is actually, right, I know it couldn't be. This is about Henry Ruggs and my cousin, right? But let me just be honest with you, as we talk about college or wherever else you go, one decision will affect your life.
Yes.
The one decision to pop some non-prescription Adderall so you can study. What if it's fentanyl? One decision to drink and drive. One decision not to use protection.
Yep.
One decision to post something on social media that a university, an employer, or someone in the future can use against you.
Yep.
One decision to send him or her or they a picture of yourself that you would not want the world to see in 10 years.
Right.
One decision, particularly fellas, hear me very clearly, to ignore the signs that she's inebriated, or somehow take the word no to mean try harder.
Come on.
These are decisions that will face you in college or wherever you go. Most of us don't make poor decisions because we want to. I've never heard anyone say or wake up and say, I just want to make bad decisions that adversely affect my life.
Right.
Many of us simply don't know how to make good decisions. But luckily I'm standing here and I'm going to tell you how to do so.
Come on with it.
If you haven't listened to anything I've said so far, and you don't intend to listen to anything else, that's fine. But listen to this and hear me clearly. All you need to understand is this. Some things are in your control, some things are not. It's really just that simple. Every single decision you face for the rest of your life will fall into one of those two categories. Something you can control, something you cannot control. The first step in making good decisions is simply to separate what's in front of you into those two categories. Can I control it or not? The things that you can control are your opinions, your pursuits, your goals. 2 words, your actions. The things you cannot control are external to you. And 3 words, not your actions. This is important because so many people end up making the wrong decisions simply because they don't understand what's in their control. You've already proved my point. So let me thank you. Whether you realize it or not, let's look at COVID-19. You cannot control an international pandemic.
That's right.
You cannot control whether you're going to be in person or virtual. Those decisions were made for you. Well, what you could control was whether you showed up online
That's right.
on 45th and Drexel, whether you would do the work assigned, and whether you would graduate. And because you made the right decisions, you're here today. You control what you could control.
Amen.
And I want to salute you for that. So congratulations on that.
Yes.
In the next chapter of your life, you have the opportunity to build on this foundation. If you're further in education, you have to make the decision on whether to go to class, whether to study, and those types of things. But the other things that are in your control. You can pick a major that's your major. Not what your parents want, not what your friend down the street wants, not what somebody tells you to make a ton of money. Because I can tell you right now, if you chase somebody else's dream to be a doctor or a lawyer and you sign up for biochemistry and you want to be an English teacher, it's going to go bad.
Yes.
It's going to go bad.
Definitely.
Things you can't control. You cannot control that you are a person of color.
That's
and for
right.
that reason, you are undoubtedly going to get pulled over
Yep.
for no other reason than that you are a person of color. But what you can control is whether or not you're under the influence when you get pulled over.
Right. That's right.
You cannot control who runs for public office, but you can decide whether they win because you can vote.
That's
And
right.
important.
That's right.
and bear with me on this, but young ladies, you cannot control your body type. But what you can control is whether or not you start the path of injections, surgeries, and other things.
Come on.
You're beautiful just the way that God made you.
Amen. 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 Yeah.
A lot of your mothers are beautiful in here as well. I can say that.
I don't want it.
On a serious note, chasing an ever-fleeting status in the eyes of others is a recipe for disaster. And I make the point specifically to young ladies because I have a 9-year-old daughter and I had no idea that body image would be a thing at 9 years old. So I just feel compelled when I have the opportunity to speak on that I do.
Yeah.
But as I said, you all demonstrated good decision making. Everyone who started with you is now here with you today. Many of you don't even live near the school, but you made the decision to come from far away. Not go to a neighborhood school to make sure that you went somewhere that you could further your education.
That's good.
You made the decision to forego the opportunity, you made the decision to give up opportunities to go kick it so that you can study.
That's right.
And the reward is here. You're graduating, you're making others proud, and most importantly, you can and should be proud of yourselves.
Amen.
So let me just say this in conclusion. The most important trait you have in life will be your decision making. Second to breathing is what you'll do the absolute most. The single most important thing you can do to ensure your success is to make the right decisions, especially when they're not the popular decisions.
That's right.
Put everything into one or two categories and proceed accordingly. Success is not guaranteed, but for you, failure is not an option.
That's right.
Make it happen. And to make it happen, it's simply a matter of decision making. I wish you the very best. You are the promise of the future if you decide to be. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Good job. Good